you'd have to have someone come
they
pick
might
you
have
up.
like out of my truck.
Oh,
They definitely wouldn't have let us drive it
that
away.
would have sucked.
That would have really sucked.
Really bad.
Yeah, you wouldn't be going home with us, that's for sure.
Yeah. No.
I think there's this. I mean, maybe if someone bailed you out, but I think if you get bailed out, you can't leave the state.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Depending on what they charge you with. Like if it's a felony type thing, which it probably would be because it's a vehicle, then yeah, you can't leave the state until you've gone to court.
Another?
We have 2 felons in the family now.
Yeah.
You're talking about me or JC?
Both. You guys are both felons now.
Listen, we can go back to that museum. I'll get something.
JC paid for a knife in Arizona at this like Indian shop with a counterfeit 100.
2 counterfeit hundreds.
2.
Apparently.
Sorry, 2.
I had like
And
dog
the
sat that weekend,
owners-
and I was like, okay, I got some cash saved up for this, and then I hand it to them, and I'm just like waiting or whatever, and then I see them like,
Yeah.
and they're like, you can't use this here.
So they
like,
like
"We
got
need to
our
call the
license plate and everything. And
Yeah,
we're
they
gonna
went out.
call
Didn't they call the cops?
They
Didn't call
said
the
they
police?
were, but I think we left before that.
Yeah, Mom was like, no, we're leaving. And then
That's crazy.
I still paid for it with actual cash afterwards and just took it and left.
Yeah, that's the thing. You still
I still paid
paid
for it.
for it.
Wow.
But it cost me $200 to, on top of what I already had paid.
So you just had accidentally gotten
just got it
counterfeit.
somewhere. Either.
And what happened with the knife?
I still have it.
Oh, that was when you were buying the knife.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I still have it.
Yeah.
And I just look at that and I think, wow.
It was funny. Like was it last Christmas or when was it? My dad got him like a like
Oh, at our
money
wedding.
checker thing.
yeah, a
Wait.
little like money checker, like dollar bill checker thing.
Wasn't
that
that
you
at
guys-
our wedding during
Yeah, I
the
was at our
speech?
wedding.
Oh,
He
yeah,
gave
that's
us,
right,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
counterfeit
He gave-
check
yeah.
thing. Yeah, I literally
As a
check
joke?
most
Yeah.
money.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was like,
I check most money I get now because I'm just like, I can't let this happen to me again.
Dude, that is crazy. Like, what are the odds? And then you can't like.
The whole rest of the trip, I'm Googling, like, what happens if you get arrested for counterfeit money?
Well, it's the worst thing too because when you tell, what's the actual counterfeiter going to tell the police? Oh, I got it from someone else.
Well, apparently
So
you,
it's like when you
Yeah.
say that, you sound guilty.
apparently
Yeah.
they have to prove that you made it or knew for sure it was counterfeit beforehand, which is really hard to prove, so they don't get
oh
anyone.
yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Well, I guess
like,
I imagine if you had like $1,000 worth of just straight counterfeit bills.
yeah, like if you have that,
That's
they're probably
different.
gonna,
Yeah. For
and
sure.
your car's just full of bags of money, counterfeit
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
like I know
And if
you,
he didn't like finish paying for the knife, I feel like that would have been different.
That
yeah,
would've
if I was
been
like,
sketchy.
oh
Like-
shoot.
Yeah.
That's true. That would've been
But
sketchy.
you
I know if
still
you turn it
did.
into the bank though, you're not allowed to leave. They just call the cops. You have to
Ooh.
tuck them there. That would have been bad. I probably would have brought it to the bank if I didn't go on the trip.
Gosh.
Dude, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that would have been bad.
So now I've got a knife and a story. A $200 story.
Zach has a truck and a story too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the Second Floor Experience, everyone. We have 2 special guests, Aliyah and JC, from the great state of Florida.
Florida.
We've had quite the whirlwind of the last 2 weeks.
We have, dude. We have.
Why don't you just explain like what you guys are doing here and like what's been going on?
Okay, so for most people that don't know, like I'm from Orlando, Florida, right? So I went home a couple weeks ago for Thanksgiving and just to visit family, and there was a movie, Interstellar, which is like one of my all-time favorite movies, right? And they're replaying it. They're re-showing it in theaters for like a 10-year anniversary. And so we'd been planning to go for a long time, and I thought it was going to release in December or like in December. Or no, I'm sorry. I thought it was going to release in November, so I thought I was going to be able to watch it with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we found out it was releasing a little too late, like this week in December. So I was like, dang, I'm not going to be able to see it. So my friend, Benji, made a joke. He's like, well, dude. Oh, frick. What? Oh, frick, dude. That's fine.
Sorry, we've had too many issues where we forgot to plug stuff in, and then
Yeah.
we've lost like
Good catch. Good catch.
whole freaking parts
What
of
is that?
It's fine because
podcasts.
those are recording, so it's fine.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Oh.
We're good. Yeah. So basically, long story short, we we decided to buy plane tickets to. So I went home for Thanksgiving, and I convinced my family, Aliyah, JC, my brother, and my cousin. We all bought tickets to fly back for this weekend to watch the movie and just hang out for the weekend.
And it wasn't just any theater; it was
Yes,
the IMAX theater.
Yeah, it's like it's the Bob Bullock Museum in Austin, Texas, and they have an IMAX theater that's like
It's like the granddaddy of IMAX theaters.
yeah, I think it's the biggest one in Texas. so watching the movie Interstellar,
What is it, like 14 stories tall? or something
Wild.
like
It was
that?
crazy.
I think it's 6 stories tall,
6 stories tall.
And it-
wow. I
and
almost
it's
thought that.
I think it's
So the screen is 60 feet tall. From the
yes,
bottom
yeah,
to
it's like
top.
60
Yeah, it
feet
was
tall
huge.
and like 80 feet wide.
That's
So-
So like when they were going through the wormhole, I actually felt like I was going through.
Well, and
the
of course, the sound system
And the
is insane.
sound,
Yes.
dude, the sound. So
Super
like the
immersive.
music and everything.
Yes,
It was an
It was
experience,
amazing.
dude.
it was.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. And then you went to London. So, like,
You went to London.
I had to miss out. Yeah.
yeah.
So I just got back
he was
from-
gonna go, but
That's where I like had just gotten back from the airport when I ran in last night, like a
No way!
like
I
a-
didn't know that.
yeah.
criminal.
What were you in
and
London
so-
for?
So I was actually in London for some like second floor cafe stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I can give you the rundown of that later, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. He did a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing you
It
guys
was
talk
insane.
about it.
Yeah, it was
A lot.
insane.
Yeah.
So I did have to miss the movie. I was going to be with you guys Thursday,
Okay.
all of Thursday and Friday. Had it all like booked out and everything. But this was like the only day, like they were all,
Yeah,
there's like
yeah.
other investors and stuff that are going. And so I was like, this was the only day that we could go see it. So had to miss it, unfortunately. No sacrifice, no victory. So
Did you get to like see anything while you were there?
yeah, we toured like a castle, like Linford Hall.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess I'll just give you the rundown. Basically, like the lady that I met, so Zach and I have been kind of developing this idea for a cafe, like a wellness community, unique sort of cafe with like all this sorts of stuff in it, with a speakeasy and a podcast studio in it. And we met this lady who had like literally the same idea. And she's super well connected. And long story short, she has really, really good friends of hers who are like Fortune 500, like bankers turned wellness people. Like they got super burned out, did the whole like yogi, like wellness retreats, Tony Robbins, cycle.
Wow.
And now they do like retreats themselves for couples, and they help couples like restore their relationships. And so they've like basically been buying real estate and turning them into these like, they call them like love manors. Well, they'll like design each room differently, and it's like basically Airbnb stay
Wow,
type stuff, but
yeah,
they'll do their
yeah.
retreats there. So anyway, long story short, Sarah and that couple had an idea to buy a castle and turn it into like a wellness retreat, basically like a giant one. And so
buy a
that's
castle.
so
Yeah.
that's what we were going.
Yeah.
They finally found one, and they're like trying to buy it. So that's what we
yeah,
toured,
yeah.
and we got to stay in one of their little love banners too, which was really cool. And then now the vision is kind of like evolving to the point where they want like 3 of these cafes outside of this castle in order to like be able, when people come to the cafes, that's how we'll like tell them about the castle basically.
Mm.
And so like once they feel that authentic community and they're like grow and meet all these different people, like they may want to go see the castle or go stay at the castle.
Yeah.
So the castle actually has like, I didn't tell you this, but it has like 60 or some odd permits for like holiday homes there. And then it has like another 40 permitted for like medium-sized longer stays. So like you can come and stay for a few days, you can come stay for
Wow.
like a longer stay, and the castle itself will be like it's already been operating as a hotel. So it's got some like repairs and some
Yeah.
updates to do in it too. But they're like putting in offers and stuff.
That's
That's
cool.
amazing.
Well,
So-
the castle's construction in like 1850 something.
Yeah, it was
Like,
constructed
yeah.
in the 1850s, and then
Wow.
like I was telling you, it had a
Right.
fire and all this
Down.
and
That's
stuff.
legit.
Wow.
That's why it was like we need to go,
had
and I
to,
needed to
yeah.
meet these people, and we needed to see this.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where like I didn't know at first. I was like, why am I going to this? Like I'm missing out on with all my friends, and I'm like, why am I doing this? There wasn't like an exact outcome, I would
Mhm.
say, like
Yeah.
before, but hindsight, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this was insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I had to go. That's
Yeah.
why God wanted me to
Okay.
go. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
An
my
amazing
first time
opportunity.
overseas, like
Really?
in Europe.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
What
Yeah.
y'all just did, they just did like a European cruise.
Yeah,
did you?
Yeah, we
So you
did.
guys just got married, right? How
Yes.
long ago?
Yeah.
Back in March.
March.
Yes, we
okay,
did.
so you're coming up on a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like 9 months, right? 9 months in, something like that.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Duke,
Coming
is
up on a
10,
year?
Duke is 10 months, so it's got to be 9 months.
Yes.
Wait. Yeah. We got
Yeah.
a dog like a month.
We got a
It's
dog
not even
when
a
we
month.
got back.
I think it was like a week.
No
So,
way.
yeah.
It was probably 2 weeks into like getting back from our honeymoon,
Yeah.
and we were like, yeah, got
It was
a dog.
that
Got a
soon?
dog.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
I was
Man.
at work and I was just like looking at dogs. People were talking about dogs and I'm scrolling and I see this picture of Duke, and I'm like, Aliyah, look at this dog, and she's like,
Let's
so
get it.
should we go pick him up tomorrow? And I was like, what are you talking about?
He's a cool dog, dude.
Really?
Cool
He's
dog.
very
Yeah, he's
smart.
sick.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
Really cool.
He's a Malinois.
A Belgian Malinois.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a crazy dog to
Oh
have,
my
but
gosh.
he's been fun.
He's very hyper, but
Those are some of the dogs they use for canines.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And
He's
He's a
very
smart
smart.
dog.
Special operator dogs.
He's
He's
smart
very,
dog.
very smart.
That's
Yeah,
really
she was
cool.
explaining how apparently they, like for those dogs, a lot of times they keep records of like their lineage
Yeah.
Yes.
to
Really?
show
So-
like
Duke
they're
is
like
a champion
purebred. Yeah.
bloodline.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a
he
great
comes from
name.
like a really good.
You could
like,
probably
bloodline.
breed. Yeah, if you like
Yeah,
find
we
a
could.
female, you
Yeah.
could breed them.
So he-
probably make
And then
good
y'all got a
dogs.
second one.
Yes, then we got a second one. When we were in New
Oh,
York
gosh.
for one of my trips,
Yeah.
and we were just looking
Same
at dogs.
same exact
'Cause
scenario.
We were planning to get
Same
another one, but not so soon.
So
we were just planning
Duke-
on it.
Duke likes to play like a lot, you know how puppies are, but he never ever gets tired. So like you can
Yeah,
throw the ball
I
with
would
him
throw
for
a ball
like,
for like hours, and
he's
he
just-
wouldn't stop.
So we figured another dog would help him a lot,
Yeah.
and it has.
And it did.
He's much better with her,
Really?
and she's also
Except
like
for
a
when you guys
champion,
came over.
but-
Yeah,
when
of
y'all
course,
came
of
Yeah,
over,
course.
when he
like
came
attacked
over,
her
Duke
for
was
some
like
reason.
being on it for some reason, probably
Yeah.
just because a lot of new things going on. or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, big
But
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's happy now. My parents, because when we came on this trip, we had to figure out like, all right, who's gonna watch these?
Yeah.
So my parents also have like Aussies and stuff, like shepherds, and so we left him with them
Yeah.
because Duke gets along with them fine, and we've left him there a few times. But they bought him this little ball machine, like the tossing thing. So
Dude,
he
it's
drops
so
it in and it
funny,
launches.
bro.
And it took him like
Hilarious.
2 tries. He picked up the ball and we're like, Duke, drop it in here, and he's like, okay, and then launches it, and he literally, they keep sending us videos where it's like he'll just catch it, and as soon as he hears it about to launch, he sprints in, because if you're in front of it, it won't launch so that it doesn't hit him. So he stands off to the side, hears it about to shoot, runs in, and just like full blast takes it to the face.
Yes.
It literally is like,
In the
here he
face,
goes.
bro.
No
Catches
way.
it, puts it right back, goes again.
It's crazy, dude.
And they said
So
he'll do
funny.
it for like over and over until everybody leaves the room, and then he just goes and sits.
No
with
one
the
to
ball in
watch
his
him.
mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's gonna
Yeah,
watch
No
but
him.
he'll do
way.
it like he'll just continuously
Over and over and over again.
Yeah, put the ball in, catch it. Put the ball in, catch it.
That's hilarious.
So,
But he's 10 months,
he's 10 months old
and
now.
so then we
Oh,
were
wow.
married for 9 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was born like early February.
But yeah, we went to Europe and we stayed in London for 3 nights.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
then we went to Hamburg, Germany,
Wow.
Amsterdam. I think that's in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Then
So-
we went to Brussels, Belgium. That was
Really?
That was probably our favorite place.
amazing.
for
That was
sure.
my favorite.
Really?
And then we went to Paris.
Mm.
And then we went back to London. And
Why was it
stayed
your
for a
favorite?
night. It was just like a movie that I walked
Yeah.
into. Like the London and Paris and Amsterdam, they're so pretty. Like they're beautiful, but
Mhm.
they're super dirty.
Yeah.
And the people
Mm.
are just rude.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sketchy, like to
Mhm.
walk
It
around.
just gives
it
the
feels
sketchy feel. I didn't
really
care
sketchy.
too much about
like
the
I feel like I
people.
have to hold on to everything.
Yeah.
But Brussels, like, no joke. We're walking there. We're at this palace, and in front of the palace, there's this huge garden, like huge. And we're walking through the garden. People are just sitting, eating a picnic. People are like
Wow.
Just
dancing
chilling.
around in this gazebo. Like there's
Yeah.
literally someone running with a smile on their face. It was like no joke.
Yeah, they're like-
People
Wow.
are just sitting on benches talking,
That's funny.
and it was just beautiful. And
I feel like every part in that city you're just like, wow. Versus like most big cities, you know, you're on the main street and you're like, okay. And then you take like a wrong turn and you're like, oh, okay.
yeah. When we
Yeah.
were walking in London,
Huh.
we went to
I took a shortcut.
we were walking to Big Ben, And we went down this one alleyway that was like so sketchy. We were just like, okay, let's. And the day before, we were with our cousin,
Uh-huh.
and she was driving us around. She goes, "Yeah, if you see those people on the bikes with the mask, they'll just stab you and rob you." And we were like, "Oh, great, that's amazing." So we're walking down this alley, and we see one of them pass by, and we're like, "Let's get out of here."
That's
But
hilarious.
Brussels was amazing.
Brussels.
Wow.
And their waffles.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we did have good waffles.
Yes.
Wow.
Real Belgian waffles.
Real.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
They were
That's the
so
real
good.
deal.
Yeah. And we went into a cathedral there as well.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I
which
bet that
one
was
it
amazing.
No.
And that one was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a
So
cool
pretty.
thing to see.
So I'm guessing y'all are in your early 20s?
I just turned 20 in
I-
February, and
I
he turned
think-
20 in April.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think I was like pretty close to y'all's age when I got married too. So what made you guys want to get married so young?
We've been together since we were like 16.
You guys been together for a long time,
Long time.
dude.
So we met each other in 8th grade.
Mm.
And then
Wait,
dated.
did we introduce them at all?
Said
Yeah, I
our
did.
names.
Oh, we did. Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, just making sure.
yeah, so we met in 8th grade, and we became like pretty close friends.
Uh-huh.
And we were best friends for a bit, and then we started dating in 11th grade.
Gotcha.
So we had been dating for 4 years.
Wow.
And then we got
Yeah,
married.
but before we started dating, we like talked like exclusively for like November to like
yeah.
August, because I wasn't allowed to ask her out unless I talked to her parents first, and I was not gonna do that for a while
Yeah.
at all. Well, because I hadn't hung out with them, so it'd be kind of weird to
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the Selescu's are probably the coolest people you could ever
yeah,
ask
I mean,
about that.
realistically, but it was still I did not like talking to people at all, so I took my time with that.
yeah, and
Whose rule was that?
I don't know if it was
Was
yours or
that-
your dad's or
his
your mom's.
mom's.
Oh, really?
Probably dad's too.
Mm,
So
Yeah.
okay.
it took
Yeah.
forever, but at least
Yeah.
it was like it's a good thing, makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I like that as a rule. Like
Yeah.
if
Sure.
you're gonna be serious about it, be serious about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Well, it literally
It
forced you to be
forces you
serious
to like
about.
you have to be in it or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's in medical school. Well, he's about to be in medical school.
Oh, awesome.
Lord
Hopefully.
willing.
So he just got his bachelor's.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get married before he went into medical school.
FAFSA. I
So
want my
that-
student, I want my federal aid.
Not
Yeah.
only
not
that,
really that's the only reason.
Yeah.
No,
but
no, no.
realistically,
That's like really
it's
helps a lot.
big
It helps a
deal.
lot.
it does.
For sure.
And then
Mhm.
also, like, we wanted some time, like, to actually be married and, like,
Sure.
Yeah.
without all that stress, because marriage is already stressful
Sure.
enough.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we wanted that before medical
It'd
medical
be-
school and residency starts, and, like, you know.
because
Yeah.
depending on where I get in, like if I were to get in somewhere that's in another state, it'd be one that's just hard immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to move at all as is, but still to like try and get engaged and then married when we're not even in the same state is a lot harder.
Yeah.
And then even on the FAFSA side, like right now, I mean, my parents are fairly wealthy enough,
Yeah.
so I would get nothing as is.
Right.
But the way it works is like once you get married, you're your own entity, so we have like 0 assets.
Right.
So I'd get full aid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna
That's
help
smart,
a
dude.
lot.
Yeah.
Super helpful. No,
Yeah.
that's, I mean,
Because I
Very.
trust me, I
very
get it.
helpful.
I
Yeah,
know what it's like.
yeah.
Yeah. That's,
So-
I mean, we looked at the numbers and we were like, wait, we're going to get paid to get married?
Yes.
And our parents already support it? Like,
right?
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Why not get paid?
yeah.
So how did you feel like the initial what was the initial reaction to everybody when you like decided y'all were gonna get married? Did you find like a lot of support or not?
Yes. There was support.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was
But
there.
There,
But
yes.
a lot of caution.
But actually, when we first got engaged, there was so much family drama that went on.
Oh my gosh, this is awful.
That Zach knows. I'm probably not gonna say all of it here, but
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah.
Well,
is it,
okay, this is what
Are you just
I've
gonna
heard-
say now?
I don't know.
You don't have to
You
go.
can say-
You
you
don't have
can
to
just,
go
like-
into
I don't
details,
want to go
but-
into
You don't
super
have to
go into
detail. So, but I will say one thing. When we got back from California, our big road trip,
yeah.
he
yeah,
bought
yeah.
the ring like the next day.
Gotcha.
I was
And
already
then-
thinking about it beforehand, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
And I've already I tested the waters a little bit here and there, you know, so I wasn't like just like, you know, I already I knew how it would go.
Sure.
But
So then he told my
obviously,
dad.
if I don't survive that road trip,
He asked my dad
You know,
for
very
the
true.
blessing,
Awesome.
like
was
that
awful.
weekend.
I mean, it went fine, but it was awful.
And,
Oh, dude,
uh,
it's the most nervous
It
thing
was
you'll ever do.
awful. Because he's working on my truck, so it's literally just me. I have it in my truck, and I was supposed to just go talk to him, and I'm sitting there. He's like looking at things in it, and I'm just like, oh my god. And so
My
when
dad, he was working on your truck. Really?
Yeah.
so I'm just holding it, and
Yeah.
I keep like, you know, I'm like walking inside and walking back out. And I'm
Yeah.
but literally,
It's the most awkward thing to bring up in a normal conversation.
well, I couldn't turn it to that. I kept trying, and he would just be like, yeah.
Bro,
so,
yeah.
so then I finally was just like, hey, look at this. And he literally goes, wow. That's all he said. He goes, wow. Nice. And so I'm just like, you know, because I didn't
Yes.
talk to him at all
Yeah.
So
about
then
this.
the plan was like he told him in like June, and the plan was for dad to mention it to my mom.
Yeah, I told him, I was like,
to mom.
so I was going
But
to talk to them
he
both
didn't.
already.
So we're going on our Keys trip. We go to the Keys with his family like every year, and that was happening in August. So dad had like a month and a half to tell mom
So,
so that she would be ready
so what?
and like so that she can soak.
Oh, because you were
Well,
going to
everything
propose on the
in.
Keys
No.
trip?
You're forgetting one thing because you didn't know about this either. But I was gonna talk to them both. I told him I'm gonna talk to them both together. But like respect thing, I was telling him first. But I
Yeah.
know she'd want to be a part of it, so I was gonna talk to them both, and I did.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to tell her so that she had a little while to soak it in, and then when I go to talk to them both, like she was whatever for it.
So it's one of the most nerve-wracking things to ask this, like as a man, as a young man, because your value is very much like what you can provide.
right at the
Yes.
moment,
And it's
not a
like-
lot.
When you're just starting out your life, you literally like I was doing DoorDash because I was in college. And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and my mother-in-law was like, "What are you gonna do? Because DoorDash is not gonna pay the bills." And I was like, "You're right. That's why I'm
right.
getting my degree." And I was like, but I like didn't even want to use my degree to get a job anyway. I was like, wanting to go into business, right? And so it's like you can't. It's just so hard because you don't have any results.
Yeah.
Really. You just have to
Really
go.
For me
off
too,
base
it's like sure.
just
I'll
say,
use
yeah,
my
I'm gonna
degree
do
in like
this, I'm
9
gonna do
years.
this.
Dude,
whatever.
yeah, exactly.
But
Well, and yeah, and they know that she's gonna have to support a lot
Right, yeah,
through
'cause
that
I'm gonna be in
too,
school,
Yes.
right? So it's like,
Yeah.
so it was interesting, yeah.
So a week before the Keys trip, when he was going to ask me, I think that's when you went.
Yeah, I did it literally a week before, and so I'm talking to them both, and she's like, "So when are you thinking about doing this?" And I'm like,
Next
you don't
week.
know, like next week?
And she was like,
She was like-
it was not good.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh my gosh.
So
Miss Selesky was not happy. Huh?
no.
Well, she told me she didn't expect this to happen until like 25.
Yeah.
So
she
I
was
was
expecting it to happen
6
way
years
later.
early on this one.
Holy
'Cause
crap.
we were both
Yeah.
19
Oh,
at
till
the time.
you turn 25.
She
Oh.
just thought it'd be a while.
I
Yeah.
thought you
You're
meant
both 19 at
2025.
this point.
Yeah.
I thought you meant 2025.
Oh, no.
No.
Gotcha.
Hey, I'm 6 years early on this.
Yeah.
So, her
So
both-
she had no
I've
idea
always
it
had
was
it in my
coming.
mind to get married
She had no
fairly
idea it was
young,
coming
but-
Yeah,
this
me too, me
soon.
too.
Yeah.
But dad was supposed to like break the news and then her have time to soak it in. So when I got back, she
Oh.
still hadn't fully like soaked it in and thought about it.
And,
So things were just a little bit tense.
and the way
And
I
I was
proposed-
like-
Just a little miscommunication. That's
Yes,
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
lot of miscommunication.
yeah, it was fine overall.
So
But hey, it worked out.
It worked
I
out.
mean,
It
the way I
did.
proposed
It
to
did.
didn't allow everybody to be a part of it because I didn't want anyone to be a part of it. But like, the way I was proposing was we're going
It's
to the Keys
beautiful.
already on my
It's
family
very
vacation, but it was
He
going to
did
be
good.
small,
He
like
did a
my
good
immediate
job
family
planning
and
it.
then Grillo and Viv.
Yeah.
And so they were going out to this Little Conch Island, which is just this island that's like you ferry out, very, very, very expensive. So I already couldn't like ask everybody to go because it's gonna cost probably $1,000 for both of them to go.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't. I'm just gonna do it. So to
Yeah.
get over there and make it not look suspicious, like I'm gonna propose, my parents and the Grillos went with us, but sat at a different table. Right?
Mhm.
So we still had our own thing going on in a
Yeah.
different area of the island, but they went with us, so it wasn't like, ooh. But my
Yeah.
brother and my sister stayed home because we were like, oh, it's just expensive, you know.
But it was so pretty because it's just on this island.
And we went.
We have
at
our own
sunset.
so
it's
and
an,
like, yeah.
Did you see it
sunset's
coming?
going on. No, I had no
somehow
idea.
not. I mean,
I really had
was-
no idea.
So it's like on the edge of the beach, and then it's like sunset, water, whatever, really pretty. There's like deer on the island that are like eating the bushes.
Yeah,
funny.
but it was beautiful.
It was really pretty. And then I think Viv thought that that like she was kind of figuring it out. So Viv happened to also be pregnant at that time. So
yeah,
she threw
so
it off
she was
bad
like,
by being
oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, I'm drinking a virgin pina colada. Mine is good too. And I was like, all right. You know, I'm not thinking anything of it. And she's like, because I'm pregnant.
So I thought we were going out to dinner because we were celebrating her pregnancy.
Which I'm fine with.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
about that. Like,
Yeah. Well,
But,
she's trying to cover it. Like,
yeah,
cover
she
it up.
covered up well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how you didn't notice.
But
'cause
I
I'm like,
almost ruined it.
Oh.
Okay? I almost ruined the entire thing because
well,
I wanted pictures out on the dock.
okay.
And
I didn't want people
He-
being a part of it because I didn't want to make it like I
He
did
didn't
this
want
with
people
my
watching.
family and then not your family. Like I didn't
Yeah.
want anyone like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was already wickedly nervous about
Yeah.
it. So I was like, we are
So-
gonna go over here and take like videos to get like a picture. Like we took a video
Yeah.
to get the pictures, and she wanted to do it on the end of the dock. And there's like fishing boats. People are fishing, hanging out over
like
there.
literally
I'm not
everybody
taking
can see
pictures
us
over
if
there.
we go out on the end of the dock. And I was getting so mad. I was like, why are we not going out on the dock? Like it is so pretty out there.
I was
He
like, I'm not
like,
doing it out there at all. Like it's not happening.
so I almost ruined it.
Yeah, she was like, I don't
I was
like,
like-
want to take pictures. I'm like, well, let's just get a few. so we walked over to the
No
side of the
way.
island, whatever.
We were like just pulling a whole
Literally,
temperature.
Yes,
as I'm
I was
about
so
to-
mad.
As I'm about to propose, some dude catches a shark. It's like flying out of the water.
Dude, that's
So-
epic.
It was cool, but
Wow.
literally, it was so obvious that when we come back afterwards, my parents and
Everyone on the
they're like,
island
yeah.
knew.
But the couple
Everyone on
next
the
to us,
island.
like an older couple, they're like, so we finally did it, huh?
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
I was the whole time, I was freaking out. That was awful.
Yeah,
Dude,
everyone
it's
knew
so
except for
And
nerve-wracking.
it's like crazy because
So
you know
I don't
what
know
it's
how.
gonna be fine, but like it is
Yes,
hard
but-
to do.
That
Dude,
I
there's
morning
hated
something
that.
about it.
that morning when we were out on the boat, I used this sunscreen that made my allergies act up. So like my face was so swollen that morning.
No.
Dang.
So like in the pictures, you can kind of tell that my face is more like it's thicker than usual.
Yeah.
It was awful.
So people were like, "Wow, you lost weight since you're engaged." And like your face was just swollen.
yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's like, I mean, I'm not married, but probably one of the most difficult things about being married and like that whole process is just trying to please everybody.
Yeah,
like,
Yes.
both sides of the
I
family.
Pleasing
decided there was no
everyone,
way to
like-
do it, and that's why I
It's
just
like-
was like, we're doing it
So-
us two.
Actually, setting the date was probably
Brutal.
the most
For the wedding?
Yes, that
Pretty
was
hard.
the worst part for me
Mm,
because
Especially when not everybody's
mom,
sold.
yes,
Yeah.
mom wanted us to wait like a whole year and do it in December, and I was like,
Like we'd be getting married now.
Oh.
yeah, yes.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, that is so long from now, and
So
we don't
long.
know if he did get accepted into medical school and like went now,
Mm.
like we would probably be moving somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she switched up and she was like, well, why don't we just do it in January? And we were like,
It's like
that's
'cause I
crazy
proposed
close.
in August, so what? September, October, November.
Yeah,
December,
like-
4.
4 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And then we couldn't do it then because wrestling season was like very,
I'm still coaching hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then finally we fasted
Mm.
actually because I wanted to get married at this specific venue. And March 10th was open on a
Mhm.
Sunday. It was like one of the cheaper days.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, we're going to fast.
Mm.
I think it was Monday and Tuesday. No,
I have no
Sunday and
idea.
Monday. We're going to fast these days. If Tuesday, if it is still available, we're going to get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So it was available. And then one of my mom's friends that morning came to the house. And she was like, hey, Aliyah, can you come here? I want to give you $1,000 for your wedding.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So she gave us $1,000 and that date was available. And I was like, all right, Lord, like
Yeah.
that was confirmation. I
Wow,
was like,
that's
thank
amazing.
you, God. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And it all ended up working out. Like,
Yeah, it did.
everyone
Worked out
made
great.
it. Everyone
Yeah,
made it.
Which was
everyone
really
made it.
surprising.
Yeah.
Weather was great. Our venue was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Venue was pretty.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like
was
that is
good.
probably one of the toughest things about the way our culture does marriage now is that, especially for young people, it's like, how do you get married as a young person without just going to the justice of the peace?
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so hard.
yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah.
like you got to get both families on board, and then how are you going to pay for it?
Paying
Yeah.
for it, too.
People take out loans to pay for their wedding and their
Yes.
honeymoon, and it's like,
We
you
got
know,
really
which
blessed to
side-
not have to take out anything.
That's
for it.
amazing.
Everybody
Yeah.
was able to help out. We
Yeah.
had enough.
I
between us
also
to
had
help
been
ourselves.
saving a lot
Really?
of money
Mm.
for like a while.
We had like 7 or 8 months to save,
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
but still, it, like, wasn't gonna help that much.
Right.
Like, we needed a lot of help too,
Yeah,
which was
we
great.
did need a lot of help.
No, that's
And mom and
that's
dad
amazing.
were amazing
Yeah.
for helping us. They,
Yeah.
they did a lot.
Yeah, they always are.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you still doing the mascot thing?
Yes.
Tell us how that came about, because that's fascinating to me.
The undisclosed specific mascot.
Yes, I'm a mascot, but I can't say for which.
Gosh.
For what company or
Yeah,
whatever?
I
Okay,
can't.
yeah.
So, I was just waitressing one day, and my manager came up and he was like, "Hey, we have a rally going on. Can you just mascot for us?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Should we
sure."
throw people off the trail and be like, it's definitely an NFL team, just so that
Yes.
they think that you're like,
It definitely is.
Yeah.
So
Waitressing for an NFL team. Of course.
yeah, I was waitressing at a game, you know.
Yeah.
So I went to the rally, and within like the first 5 to 10 minutes of me actually being the mascot, the CEO comes up to me, like of the company, CEO. It's like, "Hey, you're really good at this. Can you be
10 minutes in.
Yes.
What?
Yes. He goes, "Can you be our corporate mascot?"
What?
I was like, "I don't know what that means, but sure."
yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, we'd probably do like baseball games and like fly you places. I'd like you to train some people how to be the mascot." Yeah. So then,
So how do you be what is like your top tips
Yeah.
for being the best mascot you could possibly be?
my tips.
Yeah. What makes you
Aliyah
what
grew
makes-
up in dance. She grew up in
Yeah.
so she was just
I think
a
So I
natural.
think like
you kind of decided a general personality, and then you just
Yeah.
become that.
yeah.
Mm.
So like the mascot that I play has a very friendly and like not childish, but like it's a very friendly character.
I've been with her a
Mm-hmm.
few times when she's in it. I'm like, who are you?
I completely changed.
like,
Really?
I
it was
changed
kind
to a
of starting to
completely
bother me. I
different
was like,
person.
what is going on?
Yes. Like you would have no idea that I was in the suit.
Wow.
Because I kind of take on a role I try to be as boyish as possible.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the mascot is a boy, and I don't want to stand there like walking like a girl or dancing like a girl.
yeah.
So the next week, no, that week, they called me. They're like, "Hey, we're having another rally in Denver next weekend. Can you go?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I can." So I fly to Denver the next week, stay at the Gaylord.
No way.
Yes, the Gaylord in Denver, which is a beautiful hotel. It's
Wow.
so beautiful. And then ever since then, I just they've invited me to,
Vegas.
I got to go to a Rockies game and mascot there, and I
Really?
met like their mascot, their dinosaur.
No way.
Yes, I got to be on the field with them. So I got to actually walk out onto the field and be there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I was like 5 feet away from the players. It was so cool. And then I've gotten to go to this air show. I met like really famous BMX bikers.
No way.
Yeah. I also got to go to this really cool thing called Chain Fest.
Mhm.
It's this thing that BJ Novak created.
Okay.
Um,
From the office?
Yeah.
No way.
yes, yeah. And the first time that I went was last year in LA.
Wow.
So I've gotten to go to Seattle, LA, Colorado a lot, New York.
Wow. What a
The
profession.
one in LA was
What a
Yeah.
crazy thing. Dude.
Yeah.
Just,
And
Yeah,
so like in the
crazy.
meantime, do you waitress still?
just waitresses.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when she goes on these trips, it's like all expenses paid.
All of it is
Oh,
paid
of
for.
Like she wants to pick up
Yes.
a coffee though, that's paid for.
Oh, of course.
Everything,
Like that's
Which
yeah.
is
amazing.
great.
But
That's
the
incredible.
the Chain Fest thing was so crazy because the first night was celebrity night.
Yeah.
So
in
I
LA.
got to see like Chris Pratt, Howie Mandel.
No way.
Blake
Mayer.
Griffin, John Mayer. John Mayer was in love with the mascot that I am. So like literally I'm standing there just like high-fiving people, and I didn't want to really go up to the celebrities,
Sure.
you know,
Right,
because
don't
I don't
act
want
like
to
a little
intrude,
fangirl.
or like if they have security, I didn't want to get like blown up or something.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Imagine you just get like tackled by someone.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just sitting there hanging out with someone, and I hear John Mayer be like, "Yo, I can't say it. Can I get a picture with you?" I was like, "You want a picture with me? Like, I want a picture with you, dude." And what's that? Oh, shoot. It's so bad that I don't know his name. I'm really bad at knowing people's names.
It's okay.
Chris. Whatever.
You gotta
Anyways,
describe,
another.
You got to describe other things about him.
Yeah,
than
it's
just his
fine.
first name.
Chris-
Also, like Lucy Hale, John Legend was there.
Wow.
Chrissy
That's
Teigen,
crazy, dude.
So many, like literally, so many people. Mindy from The Office, the girl who plays
Oh,
Angela.
she was there. Yeah,
Yeah, the girl who plays
Angela
Angela,
Kinsley. Oh,
and
what?
her kids were
Her
there.
name is Angela.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Angela
Cool.
Kinsley.
Yeah, she was there.
Mhm.
Like pretty much
That was
a
cool.
ton of celebrities. I got
That's so
to see.
wild.
Yeah,
What
it
a
was
cool just opportunity,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
it is.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, when I was taking a break, BJ Novak walked by. He was like, "Hey, good job." I was like, oh, "Thank you." I was like, "No way." Crazy.
That's
That's
really cool.
Yeah. So that's what I do. And then I waitress. I teach at 2 dance studios,
Oh, wow.
and then I nanny.
Dang. So you just kind of like do all that
Yes.
whenever you just kind of fit it in where.
So
Yeah.
she
You got free
nannies
time.
throughout the week,
Okay.
like Tuesday through
And then you waitress at
Friday.
night.
waitress.
Waitress in the weekend.
Oh,
I teach
okay.
dance all Monday, half
half of Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And she actually nannies for my wrestling coach. Well,
Yes.
now I'm not wrestling, but
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
a weird connection there.
Okay. And so you won the national championship in wrestling.
Yeah, I won a few like throughout the summer because they do a bunch.
Oh,
I won
okay.
a few like that.
And you've been wrestling for how long?
Only in high school. I mean, I wrestled like 2 weeks in 7th grade, and then I tore
No
my
way.
whole knee up. And
Oh.
I had to sit out for like a year. It was pretty bad.
No way.
But and then high school I started. Every year I went to state at high school, got stumped by someone great. My sophomore year, I lost to Tom Crook, and he's probably at Virginia Tech, I think. He's
Wow.
wrestling. He's like ranked top 10 or maybe top 20. So he was a 4-timer from Jesuit, which I guess you guys don't know the school there, but he was a 4-timer. Then my junior
4-timer,
year,
you mean like state champion 4-timer?
Yeah, he won it all 4 years.
Wow.
And then my junior year, I was like only one loss that I had avenged that year. And then I hit this other 4-timer who's now wrestling at Little Rock,
Dang.
and he's also really, really good. And then my senior year, I was finally undefeated and had an overtime match with the current 4-timer. Barely lost that match.
Oh.
Killed me. But that was my first loss. And then just awful luck of the draw, I was the same side of the bracket with him
No way.
and lost that at state. So I literally got stumped again to that. He won state that year. So he was a 4-timer. So 3 years in a row, I hit a 4-timer in my semifinals. So I never made the finals one time.
Dang.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And he's also really, really
Yeah.
good. So never in season, never got to do like that year. He was ranked 6th in the nation when I lost to him.
Jeez.
Still salty about that one.
That sucks.
But
That was rough.
it was kind of
match
funny
to
because
watch.
after I graduated, he was a year younger than me,
Uh-huh.
so he became a 4-timer the year after. But he was
Okay.
a 3-timer at the time. But he was on like the team I was coaching. It was kind of funny.
Dude, that's
So
wild.
That
I
is
was
wild.
coaching him, but it was interesting.
And so then you're saying like during the summer,
During the summer, we'd travel everywhere.
okay.
My parents would just fly us. We'd literally every weekend we'd fly to another state and wrestle another tournament. So I've wrestled pretty much in every state.
No way.
Dang,
So I won
dude.
like a Colorado national title, and I won OW there. So I got this huge belt from that too.
Yeah.
That was
Let's
pretty cool.
go.
Colorado and Reno Worlds I won, or maybe I took second that year. Got a big like Eagle trophy from that one.
Let's
So I did a
go.
bunch of cool ones to like speed up because most kids that wrestle really well have been wrestling since they're like 5. So I had to make
Yeah.
up a lot of time.
Mhm.
So I think in every summer you get maybe 300 matches in. Because
Dang.
Holy crap.
every
Yeah.
weekend it's like, all right, back on the plane, fly here, wrestle back, weekend, boom. It was
Wow,
pretty
that's
So
a
awesome.
that's why it
grind,
was
man.
hard, like when we were dating,
Yeah.
to
Gone,
get a time
always.
to, like, before he asked my dad to
Sure.
date me. Like, it was hard for mom and dad to actually hang out with him.
Well, yeah,
like,
he's
I
always
was
gone.
gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just
Brutal.
never really worked out to hang out. You
Wow.
Do
know?
you still travel a lot for the coaching? Or
Most of the coaching now, not really. Like
Mhm.
I do a lot more tournaments in state. The following year, like after I graduated, I did a lot with them that summer.
Yeah.
Nelson, you've met Nelson.
yeah.
I'd travel everywhere with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he did that for about a year. And then once all my main guys that I wrestled with, they graduated, then now it's my sister, and they kind of do more in-state.
Mhm.
They've done a few out-of-state ones that I've gone to, but now that we got married, it's a little harder to make
Yeah,
that work
for sure,
without feeling a little guilty about just like, all right, see you.
Yeah.
But it's in season now, so I've traveled, but not like I
Yeah,
used
okay,
to.
yeah.
Nice. So okay, you said you did your bachelor's already.
Yeah.
Did you
so,
do dual credit courses then?
Yeah, so I started dual enrollment like my freshman year.
Nice.
I think halfway through my freshman year, I did whatever that PERT test you have to do.
Okay.
So I think I started off with like trig or something like that my freshman year.
Dang.
And then, so by the time I graduated, I finished graduated high school. I was done with my bachelor's, but I needed to get because I transferred to UCF to finish some of my things because I didn't have all my pre-med needed
Okay.
courses. So once I transferred to UCF, they require you to do 27 electives through them. So I literally had to take 2 more years just doing electives.
No
to
way.
finally
Yeah.
graduate this summer.
That sucks.
So he just took the MCAT, which is like one of the hardest tests ever. He studied for
Listen.
what,
So
10
I'm-
days?
I
Studied
need
for
to do
10
better on
days.
my MCAT.
Okay, but listen, normally people study for like a year or
We're
Yeah.
supposed
longer.
to study like the year
yes,
before you graduate.
studied
and the
for
year you
10
graduate,
days and got a 505,
which is
is good for studying for 10 days.
what's like the range?
so it goes from like a 470 to 528.
Mhm.
500 is always the 50%,
Really?
but it's like a very strong bell curve of the score. So 505 is okay.
Yeah.
515 is like you can get in anywhere you want.
Dang.
528 is like you missed 2 questions on this 500 question test.
Wow. And so you only studied for 10 days.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
because I
crazy.
didn't
And you know what he
want-
does? We're
I was
talking,
late
he
on my
goes,
cycle to apply.
that was terrible. That my MCAT was so terrible. I was like,
It's
you
not
literally
great.
studied for 10 days, dude. And you
So
got a
I was late to apply to the
505.
cycle. So
Like,
if I didn't take
he was
it then,
average.
I'd have
Like
to
above average.
slightly. Should have been better.
Still above.
The problem
And
was
most
it has like
people study
biochem and
for-
stuff, and I haven't taken
year.
biochem
Yeah.
yet, so I had to study my biochem then. I haven't taken chem since 6 years ago, so I had to study my chem again.
Jeez.
Physics, I hated physics, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
He's
Um,
so smart. It's
But
Dude, yeah.
crazy.
It sounds like you're a natural.
but
Yeah.
the issue is
Dude,
like a 500 I can get
questions,
in
gosh.
most places, but it's not like high like priority.
Sure.
So I'm kind of that's where I'm right now. I'm waiting to hear back from. I only applied to a few places. I'll take a gap year if not, because I
Yeah.
need to figure out what I'm gonna do if I need to move.
Yeah.
There's one that's like maybe in 50 minutes from where we live that I'm trying to settle into.
That'd be sick. Okay, so what do you know? Like what specialty you want?
I want to go into. Supposedly, you're not supposed to say it if you're trying, but I did when I applied. Is orthopedic surgery.
Okay.
Okay,
Which would
yeah.
just be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do like knees and hips and
Oh, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
considered you already had.
right. I mean, all
Yeah.
my
yeah,
years
you
are
can just
gone.
fix your knee by yourself.
Dude, doesn't wrestling just destroy your knees?
Well, I was a really scrambly wrestler. I don't know what that if that
Mm,
means
mm.
anything to the rest of you, but like I rolled around a lot. Like I was really defensive about things,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would just like because my knees kind of got a little
Knees would
looser
just
from not having
stretch.
much. They're really, really flexible now.
Okay.
Like they can kind of go
Yes.
180 in a sense.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, it was
they're
awful
just
to
really
watch.
flexible. Like think all the ligaments that aren't torn are just really loose and stretched. so I could scramble really well at that point too. But I mean they're kind of just gone.
That's crazy.
That's wild, man. That's
I mean
wild.
I luckily don't need surgery, but like I mean I do it all the time. Like I can my knees are just they're kind of trashed right now.
Yeah.
But I like it. It helped.
Yeah. It's a weird advantage. It's
It
like a
is a weird
freaky
advantage.
advantage.
But
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Man, it sounds like you guys are set up so well. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
feels like it, and then you're like, ooh, where's money?
Yeah. No, there's definitely stressors for sure. But I mean, like, if you zoom out,
Yeah,
you
for
guys
sure.
are
I
doing
feel like
way
we're on
better
a
than
great
most people your
track.
age.
We have like a pretty
We've
nice.
got a good amount of support that's gonna
Yeah.
carry us
Yeah.
through whatever.
We have a pretty nice little duplex too. Like the
Nice.
Lord really blessed us with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
My
Because
parents.
a lot of like housing in Florida, especially where we are, is just
Expensive.
so expensive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
We found. I mean, I don't know what the prices are here for everything, but like our duplex is a pretty decent sized 2-bed, 2-bath, and I think we are paying $1,700 on it,
Oh, that's not
which
bad.
is pretty good.
Yeah,
given
which,
that
like,
most 2-bed, 2-baths are around.
we were
21
looking at
where we live.
apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at apartments closer, like in the middle of us,
Yeah.
and
Studios
a
are like
studio would be like
1,500,
2,000.
Yeah.
depending on where.
It's
it
crazy,
is.
dude.
Yeah.
It's the same here
Yeah.
for most
So-
places.
Yeah, it's the
I
same
saw
here.
this for like
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And for her, it's a little bit more of a drive. Not now that she nannies, but when she has to go dance, it's like a 40-minute drive, and that's awful. But nannying, it's like 15 minutes for you, and it's
Yeah.
5 minutes from where I work. And that's the other part that we're really blessed with is I work for my parents because they own a chiropractic place,
Yeah.
which gives me an in later on. But
Sure.
they're saying that they'll just keep paying me my salary through school
Okay.
as long as I help out with coaching
Mhm.
or whatever when I
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
which will be great because it would be really hard for you to try and pull the whole income while I'm in school.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
For sure.
awful.
So would you say you're glad that you waited to go to school, right? Like
Yes,
that you decided to
for sure.
not go to school right away.
Yeah, yeah. I probably won't ever
I
go
was gonna
back.
say, are you
Oh yeah, I was
going
gonna
back?
ask. Yeah, yeah.
Just because for me personally, I don't see how it will
Yeah.
make a difference.
Well, and once
right
you get
now.
once you become a
Okay,
orthopedic
so that's
surgeon,
the
Yes.
interesting
It's not
topic.
gonna
too.
Now, if I wanted to do something, then I would probably go to a trade school.
Okay.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. For
like if I had to. But right now, like I'm doing pretty well, even though I work 5 jobs.
Sure.
Still, like all of them, all of
adds
the jobs
up.
that I work are very flexible,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
make good
It
money.
falls
Yeah.
generally into a normal
Yeah.
work week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
A long one, but
and then it would just be a lot if both of us did school.
Yeah, for
that would
sure.
be a lot.
Yeah.
the
Well, yeah.
That's
If you don't need it.
kind of the interesting
Yes,
part is like
exactly.
some people both want to work, you know?
Mhm.
I've never been a fan of that myself.
Yeah, me
Mm.
neither.
I know some people
Yeah, I don't want to work. When,
like
Yeah.
I just want to be a stay-at-home mom.
like I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
your mom
Which
likes
sounds
to be able to do
terrible,
things.
but-
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that though.
There's
That's like
nothing wrong
something
with
that's kind of being lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah.
It's almost
your
like
mom
looked down
likes
upon
to be able
now.
to do
It's
things.
crazy.
it really is. But
It's
like
crazy.
I don't.
It is
Like,
so
I-
much effort to manage a home.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So much
Yeah.
effort, especially
And-
when there's kids.
I want 5 kids. Like we want 5 kids.
I came from a family of 3, so I said 3, cool. She said more, I said okay.
Once you have 3,
Might as well have 5.
might as well have 5. You
If
know.
we can, I've always said, if we can make it make sense, then it's whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna rush to 5 if we're gonna like die off of it. But she disagrees with that. But it's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, having 5 kids is a full-time job.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I
Right.
don't want to. I don't want to
And
work.
you'll make more than enough money as an orthopedic surgeon
Yeah.
to be able to handle,
Yeah.
handle
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
So
They make pretty decent.
yeah, it's just like getting to
Yeah, it takes.
Yes,
I think,
getting
like,
there.
I think
getting
I've
there.
got still 4 years of medical school, 5 years of residency, and
Yeah.
then 2 years to specialize. So I still got 9 years.
jeez.
It's a hike.
That's
That's
yeah.
a hike, dude. Yeah.
But you'll be done. by
But
time
yeah,
you're
the
30.
payoff will be worth it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that is
Wow.
the interesting thing. Like, I know you've gotten a lot of people that want you to go back to school.
Oh,
I'm-
really?
Oh,
Yes.
I mean,
a lot of people want me to go back to school.
Hmm.
The
your
amount
mom
of times.
wants her to go back to school.
Yeah, mom really
desperately.
wants
Who?
me to go
Oh, really?
back. Yeah.
But I think it's because
And
your
all
mom
of her friends.
likes to be able to work. Like,
Yeah, she
said
does
a lot,
like to be able to
she
work,
likes to
yeah.
work,
Yeah.
which is fine, like great.
Yeah.
My personal thing for me is it's like I do not want to make that much money for you to not have to work.
Yeah.
Like you can if you want, but like it shouldn't be about needing to bring something to the table type
Right.
of thing, you know? Like that's kind of
100%.
why I'm doing
Like I'm completely
This month.
okay fully depending on him.
Yeah.
You know,
some
100%.
people just
Mhm.
aren't, which is fine.
Well,
Yeah.
you're depending on him financially, but he's depending on you
Yes.
Right. 'cause
emotionally,
Yes. Won't be
mentally,
home.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
family wise.
Duke,
It's a lot of
Duke's depending on you.
yeah.
Yeah, he
It's a
is.
big thing. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
One hard thing about being married so young, though, is like relating to people
Really. Also,
like our age
yeah.
Yeah,
or
everybody's
older.
still out
Oh,
partying,
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Like-
dude, I get it. Believe
We've
me.
never been.
Yeah, you
partiers
get
ever.
it. We're just at a completely different.
Stage of life.
No, you always
Yes,
have those
Yeah.
friends that
compared
are
to
fine
my
and they
friends
get
who
it.
are 20
Yeah. Well,
But-
in
I mean,
the
at our
internship. You know,
at our,
like,
Yeah.
it's
at our
just
church, I think
completely-
we were the only young
Completely different.
married couple there until Zach and Lauren got there, like the youth pastors.
Hmm,
So I get it. It's,
Yeah.
it's just weird. It's like
it is.
you can
Like,
still
a
go
lot of my
hang out
friends
with them,
don't
but
understand that,
Yeah.
like, hey, I can't hang out tonight because I haven't
You-
seen my husband all
Yeah.
day. Like,
You-
I want to go hang out with him.
Yeah.
Gives me a lot of good
like I got
excuses
married
to
to this
not do
person
things.
so I
Yeah.
could hang out with them all the
Yes,
time.
exactly.
And I enjoy that.
Yes.
And so I feel like my wife and I found a pretty good balance. Especially like having the guys here and stuff has been super helpful
Yeah.
because you know you
Yes.
need nights hanging out with your friends too. It's
Yes,
important.
for
It's a
sure.
balance.
For sure.
But we got a dog too, so that kind of changes a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you
we,
have to
we
be-
want kids soon too.
The dog,
so that's going to
honestly, I
change
feel like-
things.
Yeah.
Has put more time stress than a kid probably would have, honestly. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
especially two.
I feel like a kid you can generally kind of bring it with you, but the dog you're like, I haven't
Bring
let him out
it?
yet,
Oh my
gotta go
gosh.
back. Him or her. That thing. No, but like with like Duke, it's like shoot, we were both at work for a while. Like we can't stay out that much late because
Yeah,
we
you
let him
can't.
out.
It
Yeah,
keeps you
you
like
have to
it gets
go-
you up
Kid, you
early in the
can be
morning.
like,
It
yeah,
yeah, I
makes
guess
you
I
go
can
to
just
sleep
take him.
early.
I'm like, hey guys, sorry, we can't come right now because we have to
Eight-
let our dog out for an hour
It's like
at least.
7:30 every morning. Riley's in our cage crying with the most annoying whine ever, and we're both. I know that you're awake too.
Okay, to be fair, you guys did choose one of the craziest breeds.
Honestly,
Yeah, we
they're-
really
they're not-
did.
they're not too bad. I mean, if I'm sure it's a night and day from like a lazier dog, but like, it's not honestly that bad.
Because we've trained them a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, we worked with them a lot.
They're good.
Nice.
They're pretty good.
Um,
Now, with them, though, you can't just walk them and then be tired. Like, you have to train their brain or
yeah,
else
it's like
they will
need
not be
the mental
tired.
help.
Mhm.
Like, I could
Hmm.
walk Duke for an hour, come back to the house, he'll lay down for maybe 10 minutes, and then he's ready to play
Yeah,
again.
then he grabs the ball
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yes. But if, like, when he was trying to figure out the ball machine, the ball launcher, he got so tired
Yeah, he was
so
done in,
quick
like, 15
because
minutes.
he was thinking really hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. So you have to wear down their brain.
so we bought like puzzles for him, but he just figures them out real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We had like
Really?
3 puzzles and he figured them all out. So he'll be done with it in like 5 minutes. Not even.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
But yeah, they're
I was gonna say, going back to what you were saying, like I feel like something you've done really well that I've noticed, like you have seemed to figure out how to balance that time
Mm.
of like coming over, hanging out with us
Yeah.
a lot. Because a lot of times that happens with people who get married. It's like you see them,
Dude, they're just
you
gone.
see them, yeah, like and
Yeah.
they kind of like lose their friendships a little
Yeah.
bit, or at least
Yeah.
the depth
Mm.
of their friendships. But you
Dude.
seem like you've been able to figure that out and manage that really well.
Well-
Because I mean, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like the second floor and everything that.
Yeah.
But even before that, I mean, you'd hang
Yeah.
out with us all the time. So
Yeah, and a lot of credit goes to Taylor because
Yeah.
she understands how important like mentally it is for me to be able to like come hang out with you guys.
yeah,
But I always make sure it's like little things for her too. It's like when she's working, I like work from home,
Mhm.
and so it's like me just like doing the dishes and making sure that the laundry's changed out or whatever, like or a load of laundry started and she finishes it for me or whatever.
yeah.
Like it's those types of things that she come home and she just like will melt of like, oh my gosh, like thank you so much.
Yes.
And if I know that I want, it's totally selfish because if I know that I want to go hang out with the guys, then I'm like, well, I need to exchange that value, right?
Mhm.
Of like, for her, it's a very valuable thing to come home and have things
Yeah.
done, right? Or
Yeah.
if like she takes care of the groceries, she does a lot of the cooking, and so I'll do a lot of the dishes to help her with that too,
Yeah.
and a lot of the prep work as well. And so, if I wasn't doing any of that, it'd be a very different story.
Yeah,
Right, very
sure.
different story. But
Mhm.
because I am, and also getting a dog helps a lot too because she has like someone there with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like we have
That's
we have a
helped me
very
lot,
specific
too.
date night every week. We have Thursday nights, and so Thursday nights is like
Oh, that's
our
awesome.
night to go hang out, whether that's at home or going to a restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that helps a lot too, because if something comes up and they're like, hey, I want to go see a movie, or hey, I go to this, like, she's like, yeah, for sure, go, because she knows Thursdays, no
Thursday
matter
night.
what, we are
Yes.
going to be together.
Yeah.
And it kind of like fills up our tank
That's
for
good.
the weekend when we got to go film a podcast or we got to go,
Yeah.
you know, hang out or whatever. Even like, you know, I really wanted to stop by at the guy's house last night on the way back from the airport
Right.
and just say hi. She was like, okay, whatever. And so stopped. I just ran in real quick, came back out, came home. We spent the night together, obviously, and then spent the morning just like catching up, having coffee together.
Yeah.
And like that morning time really fills us up a lot. And because she knew that I was going to come do the podcast today, come hang out. And so it's like, it's kind of finding those rhythms that work really well. And you
Yeah.
kind of have to find it again every time. Right? When we have a kid, it's going to be a different rhythm.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And I may not be able to hang out as much because it's an actual kid, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's just those types of things that I'm hoping that eventually I can bring the dog with me, like bring Sadie with me over to their house and hang out with them there too. And so it's just now
Good.
a lot of people are not okay with any of that. They're like, absolutely not. I want you with me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like
I think that
very much
is
depends on the
very
person.
toxic.
It is a lot of times.
really
Because
hard.
that's how my friends would date.
Yes.
And it is just, I think for
Yeah.
us being, we lived 40 minutes away from each
We saw
other.
each other like once or twice.
When we first
Every
started
Yeah.
like talking and hanging out and stuff, the first time I didn't see him in like 3 months, you know?
Wow.
So like we had, or we would see each other maybe once a week.
Yeah, we'd see each other
But
at
it was
church.
good
That was it.
because, yeah. I think it was good because I knew a lot of friends who would get into a relationship and I wouldn't see them ever because they're just hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then they kind of didn't become their own person
Right.
during that time.
I call it being independently dependent.
Yes.
So like you're independent, you're and your own unique person, right? But like you're
Yes.
also like dependent on each other as a married couple because
And
you're
it-
now the two have
yes.
become one. Like
Yeah.
you're
Right.
one flesh, and so you are like you have your own little ecosystem. You've created
Yeah.
a family. No matter if you ever get a dog or have kids, you're a family
Yeah.
together, right?
Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, Taylor knows that like my independent self, like my selfhood, right, is gonna suffer if I don't have specific time with my friends.
Yeah.
And so she knows that, right? And so out of love, she's willing to sacrifice some time as long as she knows
Yeah.
she gets her time too,
Right.
because she knows I'll come back in a better mood or like
Yeah.
more well rested or
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. They think that like, oh, you're just leaving to like not be with me.
Yes.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
doing something that makes me better for you.
Yeah. Being my own person.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to be your own person.
exactly. Yeah. A lot of times a couple will come together and they'll lose their independent identities.
Yeah.
And they just will become this one couple. And
Yeah.
then that's where you like don't see your friend for 3 months. You're like, dude, where have
And then
you
you
been?
become
Yeah.
so like a lot of them become so dependent on that person, which is just off. Like that's not fair to that person either.
Exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
fair to
Yeah.
them, and
Mhm.
you're also like pretty much they become your idol,
Yeah.
and you don't
They
depend
become like
on the Lord
exactly.
anymore. You're
Very good
depending
point.
all on them,
very good point.
and that's not fair to them
Very good
whatsoever.
point.
It's just not very healthy either.
Yeah, not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now with him though, he's fine if he doesn't hang out with his friends.
I have like one or
Really?
two friends that I have a few that I'm like closer with, but like in general, I talk to them maybe like once or twice a week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
It's different for
so
everybody.
Nelson will call
Yeah.
me like every day just to
Yeah.
but he calls me for like 20 seconds like at a time. He's just like, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm like, just sitting here doing schoolwork," and he's like, "Nice. I'm driving, just seeing what's up." And I'm like, "Nice." And he's like, "Okay, bye." But like I've never been someone that needs to go hang out. Maybe it's because I was always doing my own thing for so long, but like I like hanging out, but
But I've noticed, like, for him to decompress from the
I
day
just
or
want to go
whatever,
play games.
yes,
Yeah.
he just wants to go play some video games.
I'm the same way
Like,
a lot of times.
what
and that is
what I-
completely fine with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, go do that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
After being out all day, it's not.
It's fine.
I've never been the type where I'm like, all right, want to go leave the house to go hang out with
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
I'll
I
sit
feel
down
that,
and play a
bro.
game
I
and
feel
just
that.
be
Yeah.
fine.
I just
Yeah.
want to sit
Turn on
and
I
decompress.
always turn on a YouTube
Yeah.
video, turn on my computer and I'm just there.
Yeah.
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 I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
When she's home and I'm like that, I'll just leave the door open and like, you can watch, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just honestly, like communicating what's in your head about that of like, hey, listen, like I really want to talk to you right now, but I just don't have the brain power. Like, give me
Yes.
10 minutes, like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
just sit on the couch
Yeah.
and like get on my phone
Yeah.
for like, just give me 15 minutes. And then like when I'm done, I'm like, okay, let me tell you about this, or like, let me hear
Yeah.
about your day.
Yeah.
And I can be focused. I can be attentive because I gave my brain some time to
Yeah.
chill.
For me, when I get home, like I just want to get everything done so then I can
Yeah.
relax.
Mm.
For sure.
But
I
It's-
can't stand it.
yeah, because when I get home, he just wants to hang out with me.
Yeah.
Well,
And he doesn't consider hanging out if I'm
No.
sitting there folding
let's
laundry.
be specific. So sometimes she's like, "Want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's watch a movie." So we'll turn on the movie, and she pulls a big laundry basket and sets it down on the couch, and I'm just like, "Are we even watching a movie, or are you folding laundry?" It's one thing if you get home and you want to get things done, but it's like you're like, "Yeah, I want to hang out and do this." I'm like, "Sure," and you're like, "All right, laundry basket." I'm like, "All right,"
So I've
At
kind
least
of
you're being
had to,
productive.
because I don't like watching
yeah.
movies. Like, I can if it's something I have never seen, but most of the time it's something I have seen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, I might as well just go
But-
play a game at this point. Like,
Oh, I see what you're
You know?
saying. Yeah.
but I've had to learn that he's a quality time person.
Yeah.
You know? So like I need to actually give him that quality time. And then like it's okay if our clothes aren't folded that night.
It's
You
so
know,
okay.
like
Sure.
I have to
Or you can
I
be like,
can
hey, let's
live-
fold these real quick. Or
I
like,
can live out of
Yeah.
a basket.
Let's get it done
like,
well,
real quick.
normally
Yeah.
I like the laundry like builds up for
Gotcha.
a while, so it's never really quick.
I got you.
never quick.
So yeah, just because
I see what you're
I'm
saying.
like hardly ever home to
Right.
Yeah, neither of
actually
us are
like
home
change
that
the
often.
cycles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's learning the love languages is very important.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Very.
and I love that, like, we got to talk to you guys because I feel like a lot of people don't get married young because they don't know how.
Mhm.
They don't know
Yeah.
like how to make it work.
It's
They've
a
never seen
scarier
it done.
thing, you know?
It's almost like fear of the unknown,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And I think
Yeah.
that we're sort of demystifying. When we talk to people like you, we're demystifying these young married
Yeah.
ideas, right?
I mean, my parents got married young. I don't think I would have if they hadn't.
Mhm.
You know, I think it would have been a little harder because I knew that my parents would be on board with it. So that makes it immediately easier if my parents,
True.
because they got married when they just had turned like 19 and
Wow. Yeah.
20. So I think as soon as the year my mom turned 18, my dad proposed. And I was like,
Dang.
knowing that
Yeah.
they did that and they also he went to chiropractic school, so he took a while too. I was like, all right, well, at least they get it. They're on board with it. So it made it a lot harder because if I had to convince them and then convince your parents, would not have
Yeah.
done that. I would have just waited.
Yeah.
I also think like having known each other for a long time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
too.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
I wouldn't have done
Yeah.
it if we were only together like 2 years. That's
Yeah, you want
That
to
would be
hear?
hard.
You know how long
Yeah.
I knew my wife for?
how long?
10 months
That's
before I
crazy.
proposed.
Wow.
We were
But I
engaged
feel
for
like the
6
way
months.
you meet them too matters as well. You know,
Sure.
like what you do in that time. Because for us,
Yeah.
like, I mean, not to hate on like the 5 years, but like,
We had to wait.
Sure.
right, we
You had
were
to.
barely ever seeing each other. So like, you can, if you're always with them or you're with them a lot in this 10 months, you really figure them out as a person. It's one thing.
Right.
If we had waited 10 months to be like, we've seen each other 4 times, ready?
Yeah.
You
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
No, 100%. Very good point. It all depends on the quality of it. And we were
Right.
a COVID relationship too, so had nothing else to do but to hang out.
Right.
So,
So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's
yeah.
How was that?
It was interesting. We started dating the month like the week before COVID hit.
Okay.
Wow.
Literally. And so
Wow.
we like immediately started doing long distance. But it was like, I don't know, 2 hours away. So it wasn't like super crazy. But we were also still finishing our semester. And then summer hit and it was still the same thing, long distance. But she went to Sky Ranch as a camp counselor in Colorado for like
Okay.
2 months. And
Wow.
so I went up and made a trip out of it, went and visited her for like a few days too. And then we went back to school in the fall. That was tough because that was like during all the mask stuff, like
Yeah.
really like the depth of
Yeah.
COVID. and that sucked a lot.
Yeah.
And I was glad we were at least able to be on campus.
Mhm.
That was
That's
I was
good.
grateful for that, but it was
Yeah.
very difficult. And then it was just kind of like at that point I was like, I'm 90% sure I can marry this person and deal with like the 10%.
Yeah.
I'd seen her in a lot of stressful situations. I knew
Which is
I
great.
feel like that's a big
how she
part.
Yes.
operated, and all of our morals and values lined up. We had a really similar like growing up story. Our families were kind of similar in a sense too. So there was a lot of things that were kind of commonalities. We were getting literally the same degree too. So we had classes together. So we were constantly with each other,
It's cool.
studying and stuff together too. And so it just was like, I was like, man. And then we figured out the fast food thing too. And I was like,
Yeah. that'd
you
be
know,
a
both
game
my parents
changer.
as well had always said, please get married early. We will support you.
Yeah, you might have.
And then her parents really liked me for the most part, and so that helped a lot too. And it just like, I don't know, you can't really give generic advice because
Right.
it
Yeah.
truly
It's
is
super different.
so different for every person.
Yeah. Yeah. It really
Um,
is.
But we knew we didn't want to live together before. We knew we wanted to get married. We knew that we wanted to start our lives together. SAGU makes it really easy to get married. They have on-campus housing,
Wow.
like married apartments,
Wow, that's
super cheap.
awesome.
It's like $700 a month.
Wow.
Really cheap. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
It's amazing.
And we were getting paid like by FAFSA to be married there too. And so it just made sense. You know, we were about to start our senior year. And so we're like, let's just get married. And so, yeah,
I feel
just
like-
we've been married almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So it's funny, like, so people will kind of hate on you when I say hate on you. They're like, not really sure you're gonna make it as a
Yes,
young couple.
I
Have
get
you
that
noticed
a
that?
lot.
still, too.
They're like, oh,
Well,
like,
what
you're
doesn't
gonna get divorced.
What doesn't
Yeah.
help is the like
Yeah.
at work, the two people that I work next to, both of them got married at 19, and both of them are divorced now. So,
So they
when
won't
I'm
say
there,
it directly, but they're like,
they're kind about
yeah.
it. One that I sit next to is more kind about it than the other one.
Yeah.
They're both not like
Mhm.
you're gonna get divorced, but
Yeah.
I think the
Very
one is
heavily
recently
implied.
divorced
They're
and
skeptical.
was married for
Well,
7
Yes.
years,
you know-
and one got married after knowing them for like knowing them for a month.
Oh,
And that was
see
wow.
again, the approach.
Very different.
The approach matters a ton.
Yes,
how you
it
approach it, how
really
long it
does.
takes. Even at SAGU, which is a really, really conservative place, you know, we know a lot of
Dude,
people.
we know a lot of people that
a
have been
lot
divorced.
of people
yeah.
that got married and divorced just
Wow.
too quickly. And
Yeah.
I feel like the stressful situation thing matters a lot.
it does.
Like
It
I
does.
think one of the first big tests was like going to Tennessee with your family, like the first time. I
Yeah.
was like, if I don't survive this, clearly I'm not
Yeah,
cut out
yeah.
for this.
That
But it
was
went-
one
it
thing
went pretty
that
good,
like,
so
It was really good,
was
yeah.
very like that I knew I was going to marry him is our relationship was just so like we just went together. Like, it was
Yeah.
easy.
It
Yeah,
was-
The
we never
Tennessee
had to
trip was
try.
huge too because that was the first time where I was like, dang, like JC like really fits in with our family really well.
I was
so-
like, oh, everyone's
Yeah.
gonna be there. I guess we'll see how
yeah,
this
yeah,
goes.
yeah.
That's also
Because
one of the
also I've never
craziest
been a
things,
great
too.
like people person. I've always been pretty sit back and like listen until like you've made me a little more, you know. But like
You seem pretty outgoing. That's wild.
it's
When I first met him,
listen, I would not
so
talk to her.
awkward. There was one time
had
I
no
walked into
sympathy.
church.
No, like
I walked into church and I was we texted a lot because we lived far apart, so we like hardly saw each other. And I was like,
And
hey,
he was
there's-
terrified to see you in person.
Yes,
My-
he
my
was.
life.
I was like, hey,
literally-
there's an empty seat next to me. You want to come sit?
I would.
Bolted to the other side of the room.
No
Like,
way.
I just ran, and I was like,
I
all
didn't
right,
talk to people because I think that was part of the issue. Is like
whenever you're ready.
as big as being Jewel World was, and
Think about
maybe it's a side effect of all the big braininess I guess that I was doing. But like the gifted classes, like I went through elementary school and middle school, never had to make a friend because I always had the same exact class of like 12 people in every class I had.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so then in high school, I just went dual enrollment, went online completely. And
Oh
just,
dang.
Yeah.
I'd finish my school in the morning, just go chill out, play games, then go to practice later.
So
So like when I had to go interact with people, I was like, oh.
it was so funny because
I
he
would
would
literally
text-
see her at church, turn around and
he
walk
would
the other
text
way.
normally, like we'd
That's
be
hilarious.
texting like for a while, and then I'd see him in person. I'm like, what happened?
Now,
dude? Like,
don't make it sound like I talked big game. I'm just well articulated over text. And so in person,
But
I'd
he
be
would
like,
still text normally. Like he would actually talk to me,
yeah.
and then in person, it would take him a while to approach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's what I struggled with. Was
is
like
the approach.
walking up to someone is the hard
Yeah.
part for me.
Yeah.
Once
Like,
he
when
was
they're-
there,
when
we
I'm
were
talked to,
fine.
it's
but
all right. But
Yeah.
like if I saw someone standing over there, I wouldn't be able to just walk up and be like, "Hey," I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do that. So I don't know why.
I'm curious. I think, for me, it was like after about 2 years, I was like, yeah, I have my associate's degree in marriage now. And people would laugh. But they really would be like, it really hit me about 3 years. Once you get to the 3-year mark, people are like, okay, you might make it.
Right,
They're
yeah.
like, they
Yeah,
respect you a little
yeah.
bit more. And then once you hit 5 years, like 4 or 5 years, people are kind of like,
yeah.
okay, like good
Yeah.
for you. It worked out
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
and then of course, I'm sure your people will look back on your family who's now very successful, right?
Yeah, they-
Like got married really
Yeah,
young,
Fine.
right? Worked really hard, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, wow, it's so amazing that you guys got married so young. Like they almost praise it.
Right. Everyone.
But in
says
the
that.
moment, everyone thinks you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yes, they really do.
They really look at you dumb.
They really do.
And, so
And I
it's
just want to
like-
be like, dude, he's literally been on so many family trips with us.
Well,
Like the road trip to California.
The California one was the final. Like I already knew. I was pretty sure I was gonna get the ring, and I was like, "This is gonna be the big one."
Yeah,
We were
because I know
standing. Do you
we-
remember that waterfall
Well,
in Yosemite?
yeah.
I was like, I
We were
could probably
standing
propose
under
right
that,
now.
and he was like, "Man, if I had a ring, I'd propose." I was like,
I was like, let's just throw it out
All
there.
right.
And she just goes, all right. And I was like, got it.
got it, coach.
Dude. Well,
Yeah.
this road trip wasn't just any road trip, dude. They drove from Florida to California.
And
Yes.
camped the whole
So
way.
And
literally,
camped.
and
I
camped the
remember.
whole way.
Zach told me
So
all about it.
Yeah.
That's not just like some random family trip.
No.
You were in the
It was
car
a-
with him for like
It was a lot.
yes.
yeah,
So-
forever.
And it was
fun. Like I loved it.
easy.
Yeah.
Like it was so just
Yeah, it's
like,
natural.
That's
Yes.
why I was
You
fairly
have
that
sure because I
natural
didn't feel like I
feeling.
had to
Yes.
like
yeah.
You're not
do
having to
anything,
force
just, like,
anything.
just
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
being yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most healthy situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is the hard part. Like, not from my case, but from everyone else's cases, it's like it's really hard to know like short term like trips if someone's just acting that way or not. But I think you go camping for that long, it's like you're gonna slip out eventually.
Oh, for
Like-
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't get frustrated very easily, and I feel like there was only I don't know if that trip you walking to the Grand Canyon was the only thing that blew my mind. That
So
that
when we
got
went
me.
to the Grand Canyon,
I didn't
I
yeah.
was not afraid of the edge at all.
like this is the edge, like this is the edge, right here, like 6,000 foot drop. Aliyah's like, look, we're at the Grand Canyon. Run stops like at the edge. Like these are like dusty rocks that you're gonna like.
Everyone
slip
was
on. And she
pissed
sprints
with
to the
me.
edge and just dead stop on the edge of it. I'm
Oh
like,
my god!
I'm like,
Yeah, everyone
I'm
was
watching her
really
run, I'm like,
mad.
what
I would be
are
mad
you
too.
doing?
That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah, it blew my
Yeah.
mind. I was like mad like that, but it stressed me out like crazy.
I don't blame
And then
you.
the whole rest of the trip, she's walking anywhere near the edge. I'm like, just get away from it. Stop.
Yeah, then I stopped. I stopped going to the edge because everyone
a give and
everyone
take.
was mad at
It's a
me.
give and
Levi,
take.
Well, especially
Dad,
me, I'm like,
Mom.
all right.
I can see mom being
Yes.
so
Especially me,
mad,
'cause
dude.
I'm like-
Dad was actually more mad.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Dad was the one that came up to me and was like, Aliyah, you need to stop going onto the edge. I was like,
For
Okay,
me,
Dad.
I had already
Your
made the
dad
mental
gets mad.
decision. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, so when
I
we
don't know
get
if he
back,
was
I'm
more
gonna.
mad. I just think he was
There's a
more
concern,
like,
yeah.
yes. He's like, Aliyah, like, you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
All right, Dad.
That's
Well,
funny.
for me, I'm like, all right, so I'm probably gonna propose like, or get the ring next week, and I'm like, is this really how this is gonna go? Like, if you go off the edge of this cliff, what do I even do now? Like,
That'd be a
how do you start
crazy
over
drive
that?
back with the family, bro.
No, yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Dude.
no, how do you even
Yeah.
rebuild from that? All
How
right,
do
all right,
you-
guys, see you never.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
That was another thing too. Like, we had arguments and stuff, but they were never, they were
We
never,
never
crazy.
fought.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah,
read
we
it.
never fought. We had arguments, and I think that is also important for
Yeah.
relationships.
Fighting.
is
They call it like fighting fair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Like you don't want to
yes.
like.
to figure out
Mhm.
like how you guys are in an argument.
Yes.
I hear from a
is
lot
very
of
important.
people that were married.
Yep.
And a lot of them are like, fighting is healthy. Like, you're supposed to fight, and that's how you figure things out. And I've never. I mean, maybe they
It's like,
mean
what
it
do
in
you
the way
mean
we
by
mean it,
fight?
but fighting
Like, when
is
you
like,
say
what do
fighting, what do you mean? Because
Like, you can
most of the time they
disagree.
mean is like yelling at each other.
Yes,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
is
Like
not good.
hurling insults
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
bringing
For
things up from
sure.
the past.
Yeah, right.
That's
like,
not
there's a way to
fighting
go
fair.
about it.
Yeah, there's a way of like.
My biggest
Exactly.
issue is I will rationalize things to death.
Really?
Yes.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yes.
And I know it makes her so mad, and I can tell it. But for me, it's like, even if it's the tiniest decision, I can't stand it, and you do it all the time. And not like this is news to her, but when she's just like, yeah, it sounds like you've made up your mind on that. I'm like, that is the whole reason why I'm talking to you. Like, to give me any reason to go with it. Not necessarily because it's going to change
He'll
like,
go
the
through
outcome.
like every scenario too.
Yeah.
So like,
of,
even for
what
this
would
trip,
happen.
I'm like, so should I stay back on this trip or should I go? Because we need to figure out the dogs. We need to do this. Like, I've thought it out completely on what we need to do. I'm like, so we can have my parents watch them, but my parents are going to be out one day, so I need to make sure my aunt's fine to watch them and all this stuff. And she's like, yeah, I mean, if you need to stay back, I'm like, well, I'm asking you, so I should go then. She goes, sounds like you've made up your mind. And I'm like, I just
No
need to know. Like,
way.
it's like I need some agreement on one of the
Well,
decisions.
sometimes when you are arguing, it sounds like you've already like made up your mind.
Well, I've made up my mind, but I'm taking your opinion into it to try and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I don't tend to make very
I was gonna say
feelingy
something
based
and I forgot.
decisions on my part.
Sure.
Not that she does a lot either,
Yeah.
but like,
Sounds like you're a contemplator. Look at it from every angle.
right.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
he
like,
does.
dude,
I
even
like
when we're
to,
playing like family games, like you think through every decision.
Everything.
Yeah.
so
Dude,
it's hard.
you
Yes.
can't say anything. You do the same.
I
thing,
know,
bro.
I know
You
I
do the
do.
same
So it's
thing.
hard
But I mean, yeah.
It's hard
JC
when we're
is
having like
like
a discussion about
crazy
something
about
'cause
it.
it's like I like things going my way, but not in like that way, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like if I think it's the best outcome, obviously I want it to go that way, but I hate it when it's like I feel like I made that choice.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like it to just feel like everybody agrees that this is just the way it probably should
Mhm.
go. And so she doesn't ever let it reach that point. She just goes, guess that's the way it is. And I'm like, well, I'm not telling you to do it. Like, do you agree
you're
with me
opening
or
up a
not?
conversation.
Right. And she doesn't like that very much. So all the time, it's like when we're even talking about the smallest things, I'm like, so do you agree with me or not? And she's like, no. I'm like, why? And she's like, I just don't. And I'm like, how? So that's the only thing. So
Marriage.
she'll reach a point where she's ready to stop talking about it.
Marriage.
I'm like, we haven't even gotten to a conclusion on this. So that's the only part where I feel like I get caught pretty hard.
Mm,
Because I can't let it go until I'm like, well, we still don't have an answer on this.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
hate,
with you.
I mean, that's part of,
And for me,
having-
I honestly just want him to make the decision.
Sure.
For me,
Yeah.
I'm like
But you're kind of passive aggressive about it too.
a bit,
Yeah.
so that's
but
the hard part is
I'm more just like
I feel like it's
just
in my role.
make
to-
the decision. Like I'm fine. I'm good.
I
with
feel like
whatever.
it's in my role to
But
just
are
make
you?
the calls.
Yeah, I really am.
Are you good with whatever?
Afterwards, she's usually
Usually.
fine with whatever.
Okay.
So I feel like it's in my role to make the final call
It
generally.
is. Yeah.
It
but-
is.
I hate feeling like I'm being
Leaving her
bossy
out,
about
or-
it or like
yeah,
just telling you.
Yeah.
what
You
to
want
do.
to.
Like,
You want to involve.
I want people to agree.
Yeah.
You know,
And I'll usually say like my part, and then he'll keep asking me
Yeah,
like what I think.
that's
And I'm like, this is what I think. And he's like, but why? And I'm like, I just do. And I'm like, make the
she'd
decision.
be like,
Like
this is
it's
what
up
I'm
to you
thinking. I'm
now.
like, but doesn't this make more sense? And she's like, maybe, but I still think this. I'm like, all right.
Hey, I was gonna say something.
Well, we've been
Well-
going for a while, dude.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked for a little bit.
I think we have some pizza calling our name.
Pizza.
Well,
Secret Hitler.
thank you guys so much for being
Yeah.
on the podcast.
fun.
So nice to hear
Wasn't,
y'all's
wasn't
stories.
that bad, was it?
No, it
I
wasn't.
was
I thought we were
surprised.
gonna get into like some deep
Surprisingly,
stuff.
If you'd done
Spy
this
Leg
like
was
3 years ago,
prepared.
I would have
We
probably.
went through your whole
just
story.
left.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It was relatively
Was
deep,
it
but
good?
it was like
yeah.
it's not hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time on Second Floor Experience. Peace.
Done.
That was great.
my gosh.
I want to talk to you. Not now, later. No, now.